right, motherfuckers. I just finished watching SmackDown. I watched, what's it called? WWE Crown Jewel last night. I was up till late. Today was a very busy day. So I'm going to make those videos tomorrow morning probably since it's Saturday and I got nothing planned. But today I figured I'd make a shorter video because I can tell you this. The SmackDown review video is going to be long and it's going to be fun because some cool things happened on SmackDown today. And the Saudi Arabia show was about 3.5 hours. And there's a few things that need to be talked about in regards to that show as it pertains to this episode of SmackDown, as it pertains to the future of WWE. Because there's some weird shit going on and I like it, but I also hate it, motherfuckers. But now let's talk about something a bit more entertaining to some of you. Some AEW talk right here. Let's talk about why Cody Rhodes fucking sucks ass. All right? I have written 25 reasons down on my piece of paper that y'all can't see as to why Cody Rhodes completely is shit. Now, I'm sure as I talk about these reasons, other reasons will pop into my head and I will list them as well. But the main reasons will be stated outright, starting with reason number 1. His hair is blonde, and that is gay. All right, motherfuckers? This guy, he has gone through like a million different like iterations of himself. Now he's blonde. I don't know why. It doesn't look good. It looks fake. He looks like a Hooters girl with it. I don't like it. It's dumb. You know, like he's had the same haircut his entire life. So in order to give himself some sort of, I don't know, boost in appearance or boost in perceived charisma, he changes his hair color, you know, looking like Darby Allin up in this bitch. So that's the first reason why he sucks ass. Reason 2, his mustache, facial hair situation that he had back in the day. This was even worse than the blonde hair. All of a sudden, this guy had a fucking mustache, and people, like idiots, like neckbeards, were like, oh, it's a good gimmick that he's got. It's not a gimmick, morons. A mustache is not a gimmick. Just like Sasha Banks changing her hair color is not a gimmick. It's just a change in appearance. And when it has no logic and purpose behind it, it becomes stupid. Just like his dumb blonde hair, right? Let's compare that, for example, to, I don't know, Jeff Hardy, right? Changing his appearance when he turned heel in TNA, right? He came in looking all wet and evil, and his face paint was different, and he had this like and he came out with like a tie, right? Like a weird tie and like a blue shirt, looking like Satan himself. You know, that actually made sense. He changed his appearance in order to fit his new character. Just like Bray Wyatt changed his appearance in order to become the Fiend. When it makes sense, when it fits a storyline or a character, it's cool. When you do it because you're a boring midget, a vanilla midget like Cody Rhodes, and the only way you think you can get over is if you get a mustache, just think about that. AEW is being pretty much run by a guy who thought that putting a mustache on his face would change the trajectory of his WWE career. And guess what, motherfuckers? He was 100% wrong. His trajectory kept going downhill into jobber oblivion. Which leads us to point 3. Reason 3 why Cody Rhodes sucks ass. His dashing gimmick, motherfuckers. The dashing gimmick was fucking stupid. It was this asshole coming out and being like, oh, use Q-tips to like apply makeup to your face. Like, what the fuck? It wasn't even like ironic. If you have like, look at like, I don't know, Gorgeous George or something like that. There was like an irony there. Like he understood that he was annoying and weird and he was presented as such. Cody Rhodes was presented as this like out of touch guy who really thought that it was a good idea to give you beauty tips, which led to his, in my opinion, best gimmick ever, the undashing gimmick, because it led to like, it was almost like a Phantom of the Opera, like kind of guy who like hides in the shadows because he's so hideous. And that I actually dug. That's the only time I've actually liked Cody Rhodes. Literally at every other time, I've thought to myself, this guy sucks an ass, right? Like when he first debuted, he had this move. It was called a Silver Spoon DDT in the video game. It was just a DDT. For some reason, for this asshole, he was like 19. It was a finisher. But anyways, it is what it is. You can't really blame him for that, I'm sure. But I will anyways, motherfuckers. But that's not one of the reasons. Reason 4, he once beat Great Khali with a disaster kick on a throwaway SmackDown. Now, I know Great Khali was eventually transitioned into a big guy jobber, but it's one thing for the big guy jobber to lose to Big Show or to Kane or even to like a Sheamus. But that's the minimum. The minimum kind of guy that should be able to beat Great Khali is Sheamus. Like that's that level, that size, that strength, that height, that weight. That's the minimum. Like if it goes any lower than that, it becomes ridiculous. Cody Rhodes beating Great Khali is one of the most foolish things ever. Great Khali would just slap him out of the air, and Cody Rhodes would do nothing about it. Like, even 3 Cody Rhodes at the same time, I think would have zero chance against Great Khali. Oh, but Hater, what if he kicks him on the knee? That's what someone said to me once. I was like, man, I'm tired of CM Punk. You know, I'm like, Kevin Nash would whoop his ass. People are like, no, because CM Punk trained mixed martial arts, so he would just kick Kevin Nash on the knee. Yeah, maybe in fairy tale land where CM Punk is actually an MMA fighter with any success. In the real world where I live, someone like Kevin Nash would just kick CM Punk in the stomach and then jackknife him right there in a street fight, motherfuckers. That's what would happen. Same thing with Cody Rhodes and Great Khali. It was ridiculous. I remember to this day because I'm like, I couldn't believe it. Cody Rhodes hits a disaster kick, which isn't even a finisher because obviously he can't do the crossroads on the Great Khali. He hits a disaster kick and I'm like, really? A move that doesn't put down Santino, just put down the Great Khali? It's the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my life. But anyways, I hate him for that as well. Number 5, motherfuckers, he was Stardust, and Stardust sucked. All right? I don't care. Oh, but he didn't want to play Stardust. Too bad. He should have quit then. No, he prostituted his dignity, and then now bitches about it. Oh, the company made me do it. Shut up. Just say I don't want to play Stardust if it matters that much. He really thought, I believe, that it was going to get him over, you know? Gold and Stardust. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Reason 6, while he was Stardust, he was trying to find the cosmic key, which made no sense and was fucking stupid. So for that reason alone, he should have been fired right there. And so should have the person that came up with the cosmic key. Where the fuck that was. Number 7, in AEW, he had an entrance with a dog. The dog didn't give a fuck. The dog is just there being a dog. And Cody Rhodes, he has to have these like entourage type entrances. But like he's fucking Floyd Mayweather or something. But Floyd Mayweather comes out with Triple H, Justin Bieber, you know what I mean? Like actual like A-list type people like Justin Bieber, you know, and 50 Cent, like an A-list rapper back then at least, right? Whereas this idiot comes out with like DDP, who is cool, I will say, his stupid dog and Brandy Rhodes. Like 10 people come out with this cocksucker for an entrance against like Shawn Spears in like a throwaway match, which we'll get to that in a second. That's actually the next point, motherfuckers. Point 8, he buried Shawn Spears. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a fan of Shawn Spears. Ty Dillinger sucks ass. But the issue I have with this is that we haven't seen this asshole since. I don't know if he's injured or something. I don't care enough to Wikipedia him and find out why he's not around. All I know is that since he wrestled Cody, when he had the blue eyes like an asshole, he lost, and now he is nowhere to be seen or to be heard from. So, as far as I'm concerned, he took this guy in, called him a good hand, and then subsequently buried him. He did to him what Triple H is accused of doing to people all the time. Which is weird because Triple H really, if you think about it, has put over way more people than he's buried. Like, who did he bury? Booker T, who then became a world champion eventually? No. Booker T, I know a lot of people think that Booker T should have won the title from Triple H, and that might have been the right move. I like Booker T myself, but the realities are what they are. That was fresh after the WCW angle, and unfortunately, the WCW roster needed to be buried some more. Other than that, the only person Triple H buried is Scott Steiner. And let's be honest, like, come on, was Scott Steiner going to be a good WWE champion? Other than that, he put over like Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, Batista, Cena, Daniel Bryan. Who else did he put over? Undertaker to some extent, even though Undertaker was obviously over. But you understand what I'm saying, right? Triple H like barely wins any matches. So anyways, but Hater, he pinched Sting. Yeah, so what? That's what should have happened. But Sting comes in and beats like one of the biggest stars of all time in his first match. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. I like Sting as much as the next guy, but that makes no sense. But Cody Rhodes buried Shawn Spears, and he did something that he accuses Triple H of doing. Shawn Spears, even if he comes back now, he'll never be the same again. I remember before like AEW had their first big show, Shawn Spears was in like 6-man tag matches, and he was getting the pin on like Darby Allin and things like that. And now I haven't seen or heard from Shawn Spears in a long time. I don't even know if he's still with the company, if I'm being honest. Anyways, it is what it is. Reason 9 why Cody Rhodes sucks ass. The Crossroads is stupid. The Crossroads would not hurt in real life. In addition to that, there are a lot of wrestlers that do this move. This is like the traditional jobber finisher in WWE. Like Bo Dallas used to do it. Test used to do it. Damian Priest does it now. I mean, some variant thereof. Reno, remember Reno, motherfuckers, from WCW? He used to do it, called the roll the dice. Hugh Morris used to do it. It really is the jobber finisher, you know? And like, I will say Cody Rhodes does it better than most of these guys. I will, as usual, fuckers, I will give props where props are due. Cody Rhodes does it better than most of these guys, but it's still a shit finisher, and I don't like it. And I don't like the disaster kick either. It made sense when it was called the beautiful disaster because it fit with his character. Now it's just called a disaster kick. It's not even, it's just like, he just jumps, slaps his thigh, and pretends to kick the guy. It's fucking bullshit. And people are like, oh, Cody Rhodes is so great in the ring. No, he's not. He's shit. Anyways, I mean, that's a reason too, but I didn't list that as a reason. I thought it was just implied that Cody Rhodes is shit in the ring. But anyways, reason 10. All of his title runs, all of them, have been fucking horrible. Since he won the tag titles with DiBiase, that was garbage. He won the IC title, that was garbage. He didn't win anything, I don't think, while he was the undashing Cody Rhodes, which is like his prime, right? His tag run with Goldust was uninspired and boring. Right, his inevitable AEW run. I don't think he's gonna win, whatever next week or whatever the fuck the pay-per-view is, but he is gonna eventually get it. That's gonna be a shit run too. It's gonna be way worse than Jericho's run, which honestly isn't even that good. So all his title runs are garbage. When he brought out the white belt Intercontinental title, people were like, "Oh my god, he's bringing prestige to the IC title." The IC title hasn't had prestige. The last guy to hold it and have it mean something was Randy Orton, which I'm not saying Randy Orton is great for holding it. He's the one who ruined it because he held it for like 9 months and then lost it to like Shelton Benjamin, who like, it would have been prestigious if Shelton Benjamin had gone on to do something else. Like the Intercontinental title is supposed to be a stepping stone, and it has not been used as such anymore. Now it's just like now it really is just a mid-card title. Like there's no breakthrough. Like you see someone like Nakamura become IC champion, and then that's it, man. He's not going to be WWE champion. They had the opportunity, they didn't give it to him, so it's not going to happen. It's not in the cards, motherfuckers, right? The only time the IC title is used in a way other than that, other than like a jobber mid-card title, is in or around WrestleMania, where you'll have like the three upper mid-card guys, like let's say like a Seth Rollins, a Lashley, a Finn Balor, like on a good year, maybe a Rusev, something like that. And they fight for it, and it's like kind of like a big deal because, like, when Seth Rollins won it, it was like, all right, Seth Rollins is a former champion, so that's kind of neat. You know, maybe he'll do something with it. But it's also the title that at any given WrestleMania, Zack Ryder can win in a ladder match. So it's shit, and I attribute this all. I mean, if I'm being honest, I attribute it to like Randy Orton, Shelton Benjamin. But when Cody Rhodes won it, that is when it really went downhill because they were like. Even after Shelton Benjamin, there were some times of brilliance. Like Rey Mysterio had a nice little run. A few of Dolph Ziggler's run. The Miz's run, not all of them, but some of the Miz's runs were good. Jericho came back. He had some runs with it. Like, they were still good runs. But after Cody Rhodes, it was all bullshit. So I blame him for the demise of the IC title, in addition to the fact that all of his title runs have been garbage. Reason number 11. He was a lower card guy in Legacy. And the other guy there was Ted DiBiase. So he was lower than Ted DiBiase in priority until WWE realized that Ted DiBiase sucks ass and they decided to put him underneath Cody. But the entire purpose of Legacy, other than to give Randy Orton like a push, was to put over Ted DiBiase. That was the entire angle. So Cody Rhodes was third guy down the totem pole after Ted fucking DiBiase. So that's how much he sucks. Reason 12. He had like a 10 to 12 year career or something like that in WWE and basically achieved fuck all. All of his matches are forgettable. There is absolutely no reason objectively to think that this guy should be a main eventer. He had some good mid-card moments as the undashing Cody Rhodes, but that's it, motherfuckers. Everything else screamed lower mid-card. Number 13, he has a lisp, motherfuckers, and I fucking hate lisps. Number 14, we're gonna get to the better reasons now, I think. Number 14, he books himself like a main eventer in AEW. Now, someone in one of my videos said, Cody Rhodes isn't doing the bookings. Who gives a fuck if he's doing them or not? Obviously, he has creative control. Isn't that the entire shtick? The wrestlers have control over their character, and the executive vice presidents are obviously the ones that have some form of creative control. And being that he's one of those assholes, he clearly has some creative control over himself in AEW. Because if he didn't, there is no reason why this guy would be in the main event. Considering the fact that he's never been in a main event worthy match ever in his life. This guy doesn't know what it's like to be a main eventer. I don't even think he's ever been in a main event. He may have main evented like a Raw here and there in like a tag match or some bullshit. He may have main evented like a throwaway ROH pay-per-view, right? But that's about it, man. When it counts in WWE, this guy's never main evented anything, nor has he ever been presented as a relevant enough guy to be in the main event. The only time where he was part of anything like that was with Legacy, which the entire purpose of it was to put over Orton. He was there as a lackey. It's kind of like that time when Taka Michinoku like main evented like a episode of Raw or something against Triple H. It wasn't a real main event. So Cody Rhodes has absolutely zero experience being a main event guy. There is no reason to believe that Cody Rhodes will or has ever drawn one dime, right? My opinion, I don't see the appeal of this guy at all. I don't think there's anybody more overrated than Cody Rhodes since CM Punk, if I'm being honest, right? Now, I will say this. Cody Rhodes, it's time to say like a few good things about him. Cody Rhodes, he does try hard, right? He's not complete shit in the ring, right? And if he took away his attitude of this like, I'm like the chosen one type attitude that he's got, right? He could be a decent enough wrestler. He could have like one of those 20, 25-year careers because he started when he was like 19, and maybe when he's like 43 or something, he could have like a Mark Henry moment. Nobody talks about the Mark Henry moment. When you bust your ass your entire life for this company, you understand wrestling, you put in the years of doing the bullshit angles, right? And then eventually someone says, it's Mark Henry's time, and you have a memorable and significant title run. That's what every wrestler should aim to be, unless they are presented as like a John Cena or a Randy Orton or someone like that. They should, if they're in it for the wrestling, they should aim to be a Mark Henry. That's called, or like a Christian, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Christian. That's called a successful WWE career. What they shouldn't do is complain about, oh, they put face paint on me. I'm going to go start my own company and then I can book myself as main eventer because Vince and Triple H didn't want me to be a main eventer. Yeah, they didn't want you to be a main eventer because you're a little bitch who complains about, oh, I want to, this and that and this. I should be in the main event. Me and Goldust should be in like a WrestleMania main event. No, you shouldn't, motherfuckers. So that's the problem I have with that. Number 15. Since speaking of Goldust, the Brotherhood sucked ass. It was horrible, right? The only reason it was even tolerable was because Goldust deserved something because he was doing that. He was doing a little bit, not as good as Mark Henry, but he was doing the Mark Henry career. This guy has paid his dues dozens of times over. And if he hadn't switched around, by being fired and all this other shit, going to TNA and coming back and TNA and coming back and WCW and coming back and all this stuff, there would be no doubt that Goldust would be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, even now, right? He's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. Goldust is memorable. One of my favorite wrestlers, actually, when I started watching wrestling in the 90s, because he stood out. And like I think I mentioned in one of my videos, his feud with Val Venus is one of my favorite feuds of all time. Definitely one of my favorite mid-card feuds of all time. But the Brotherhood itself sucked ass. And the reason it sucked ass is not because of Goldust, but it is because it presented this idea of like, Cody Rhodes has been held back. And now that the Rhodes family, well, like get their comeuppance and they will become champions, right? He did cut one good promo when he was like dejected about how he had been treated. I did like that promo. I give props where props are due. But beyond that, it was stupid. They beat the Shield and it felt like they didn't do anything. And then they lost. I believe they lost to the New Age Outlaws. So like when they were hyping up Dustin Rhodes versus Cody, right? I think they had a vignette where Cody was like, people forget about me and Dustin. We're the first team to beat the Shield. Yeah, so what? And then everyone else beat the Shield. It's not like the Shield was this undefeatable faction. They were a dominant faction. They did good, but not even that great, to be honest, right? What did they do? They won the tag titles once, right? And then like Dean Ambrose was U.S. champion. That's all they did. They didn't do anything. They didn't really do that much. They were just entertaining and they were presented as a big deal because they were attacking people left and right. But that's about it, man. A lot of people beat the Shield, right? And then even when the Brotherhood beat the Shield, they dropped the titles to the New Age Outlaws, which are fucking awesome. So there you go. There's that. 16. Reason 16 why Cody Rhodes sucks ass. An over-reliance on Dusty Rhodes. I hate this. This should be the number one reason, right? We get it. He's Dusty Rhodes' son, and that's kind of cool because Dusty Rhodes is a bona fide legend, and Goldust couldn't fill his shoes, but he tried his hardest. Cody Rhodes has this millennial, and I'm a millennial myself, but he has this millennial entitlement of like, well, like Goldust couldn't do it, so I'm going to be the one that follows in my father's footsteps. No, you're not, asshole. You're not cool enough. It's as simple as that. Dusty Rhodes, charisma up the ass. Cody Rhodes, no charisma, motherfuckers. And this over-reliance on Dusty Rhodes, especially after he passed away, is disturbing. They keep talking about, oh, Dusty's watching from above. Oh, I'm doing it for Dusty. How about fucking do it for yourself, man? You started a company. Stop like hanging your hat on your dead father, right? Dusty Rhodes deserves some respect. His career cannot be made a mockery. His death cannot be made a mockery of by his stupid son being like, oh, like, Dusty Rhodes, dad this and dad that. And let the man rest in peace. I'm not a religious person myself, but come on, you can't do this. But I will say, it is his father, so maybe that's what Dusty would have wanted. And I can't blame him for that, I guess. Maybe I should remove this reason, motherfuckers. But like, it is his father, and he can, he has more, gatekeeping authority over his father than definitely something that I do. And I would never want to disrespect Dusty Rhodes because he's cool. But that's why I feel like this is the reason why Cody sucks. Because, in my opinion, he is disrespecting the legacy of Dusty Rhodes because he cannot create a legacy of his own. Pun intended, motherfuckers. Legacy up in this bitch. Reason 17. Brandy is not entertaining and she thinks herself to be some sort of dual businesswoman intellectual. I don't know how, but I read an article she wrote on WWE.com back in the day talking about how, like, people judged her because she had a nice bag, but nobody judges her husband, Cody Rhodes, because he has a Louis Vuitton bag. And I'm thinking to myself, of course he's got a Louis Vuitton bag. Is that where he keeps his nuts? I don't know. But what I do know is that Brandy Rhodes sucks, and she has used, like, the parallels between Brandy and Cody and Triple H and Stephanie are insane. Brandy clearly wants to be Stephanie. Cody clearly wants to be Triple H, except it's almost a bit different. It's almost like Brandy's Triple H, right? Because she's sleeping with Cody, and Cody is Stephanie, who is elevating Brandy from complete mediocrity, like one of the worst divas of all time, to now like this like almost like a household name. The chief Brandy officer, like, we're supposed to be impressed. She's like Awesome Kong's manager, never managed anybody in her life. There's no reason to think she'd be good at this, but yet here we are, motherfuckers. 18. The throne breaker thing was fucking stupid, motherfuckers. When Cody Rhodes came out with a hammer and broke the throne, symbolizing Triple H, that was fucking cringy as shit. And it was cringy, I'll tell you why. People were like, oh, it's cringy because he broke a throne with a hammer. Ha ha, tee-hee. No, the reason it's cringy is because Triple H is objectively vastly superior to Cody Rhodes. So the fact that Cody Rhodes is even suggesting that now he's like on the same level to even be able to approach Triple H with any kind of criticism or mockery is so absurd that when you see it, you're like, this is fucking stupid. This would be the equivalent of Yoshitatsu going back to New Japan and being like, John Cena sucks. And then like taking like a You Can't See Me shirt and burning it on like New Japan Live and people losing their minds thinking, wow, Yoshitatsu is so cool. No, man, John Cena is like so far above and beyond the Yoshitatsus and honestly, all of New Japan that there's absolutely like the power balance is, the power differential fuckers is too great. It would be like Nappa from Dragon Ball Z for all you nerds fighting like Super Saiyan Gohan or whatever the fuck he turned into at the end of the season. So there you go. That was stupid. 19. He is AEW's Triple H, and yet he mocks Triple H. The irony here, going back to the reason before, reason 18, the throne breaker. This is fucking stupid. He takes advantage of the fact that Triple H cannot respond to him because AEW is a pissant little company, right? So he did what VKM did in TNA when the New Age Outlaws were the VKM, the Voodoo Kin Mafia. Oh, God, it just kills me to even say it, right? Cody Rhodes just keeps mocking Triple H, right? But he is not Triple H, even though he desperately wants to be. He wants to be that guy that makes the decisions. He wants to be the guy that books himself high and buries people. I think I've laid out a pretty good argument. Look at this. He has won, like, I think 1 or 2 matches. I think definitely at least 1 or 2 singles matches, right? And he is in the main event of the first pay-per-view after TV taping started, right? He has buried Shawn Spears, right? Who puts himself in the main event? Triple H. Who allegedly buries people? Triple H. Who puts his wife in everything? Or if you flip the roles the other way around, Triple H. or Stephanie, depending on how you look at it, right? The parallels speak for themselves, except it's like Triple H looks like a monster. He's like one of the best of all time objectively, and Cody Rhodes is a jobber, man. It's the dumbest thing ever. The fact that people get behind this just shows that like AEW fans have absolutely zero confidence in themselves as human beings, man. Because if you had any kind of critical thinking ability, you would see it's plain as sight that Cody Rhodes is a wannabe Triple H, and you'd be like, man, that's fucking stupid. I can't get behind this guy. But the realities are what they are. These fans are insecure and weird, and they can get behind this guy. As a matter of fact, they want to get behind this guy in more ways than once. You understand what I'm saying, motherfuckers? So anyways, moving along. Reason 20. He is not a credible challenger to Jericho, and he is not a credible challenger to any kind of champion, right? There was a promo back in the day when Legacy found Jericho. This was one of the greatest moments of Jericho's career, in my opinion. They found Jericho, it's around 2009 or whatever, when Jericho was doing the I'm superior to you gimmick, right? They found Jericho backstage, and they started bullying him. Like, these two jobbers, Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes, just started bullying him. And that aforementioned power dynamic, that coolness differential came into play there too. And Jericho made it part of his promo. So DiBiase and Rhodes start talking to Jericho. They're like, wasn't your father like a bench warmer in hockey while our fathers were stars in wrestling? And Jericho just looks at them and he says, you must not realize who you're talking to. He's like, I've won more titles than both of your fathers combined, right? Boom, complete burial. And like a generational burial, you know? Yeah, Dusty Rhodes is cool, and DiBiase was all right. Not that great in my opinion. Like I'm talking about Ted DiBiase Sr. here, right? But they're not Jericho. Jericho is better than them both combined in many ways, right? So therefore, he is like superior to their infantile sons at the time. And that now one of those infantile sons is the face, right? And therefore, the brave guy in his rivalry with Jericho. It is ridiculous. It makes no sense. So I don't like that at all. Reason 21, he is not charismatic, motherfuckers. I'm tired of this. Cody Rhodes is great on the mic. I will give him credit. Sometimes he's good on the mic, especially when he was, Phantom of the Opera undashing Cody Rhodes. That was kind of cool. But he is not charismatic. This goes back to him having a lisp. And the fact that he has changed his look in weird fucking ways that scream insecurity like 5-6 times in his career. Mustache, stardust, fucking blonde hair, little dream tattoo, right? He's got all these things, right, that when taken individually might be like, all right, he changed something. But when taken in the totality, when you see everything that he has done to change his appearance so many times, to me, it screams, I have no character and I have no charisma. And I have no direction with where I'm going whatsoever. Now, reason 22, fuckers. His entrance theme, motherfuckers. His entrance theme, bitches. His entrance theme sounds like a South Park parody of his entrance theme. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's one of those descriptive songs where the guy's like, broke the ceiling, went down the street. People told me I couldn't do it. And then I went and I proved them wrong. It's like, those might as well be the lyrics. The tone was right there, right? It's fucking stupid. And it doesn't fit him at all. He should have like an actual theme song, not sung by some garage band nobodies. Earlier today, my girlfriend and I were in a restaurant and they played, one of the songs they played was an Ed Sheeran song that, what the fuck's it called? Darling, you look perfect tonight. That's some bitch right there. But it wasn't sung by Ed Sheeran. It was sung by some other guy. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. So some guy heard Ed Sheeran sing this. Ed Sheeran wrote the song, composed it, did all this. And then the guy thought, maybe people want to hear me sing it too. No, we don't want to hear you sing it. Just like we don't want to hear this stupid ass theme song. Reason 23. His entrance in general, not his music, but his entrance, is overdramatic and far too serious for a mid-card to jobber level character. That's what I gotta say about that. He comes up from the top like he was Gangrel, and he's like wearing like a 3-piece suit. He's supposed to be this like evolution type guy. Overdramatic entrance. Like he interfered in one of the matches after the lights went off. Like, dude, no, you can't use this to book yourself simultaneously the way that Undertaker, Kurt Angle in TNA, and fucking Triple H and Evolution do. You can't do that, man. You're not cool enough to do that. It's as simple as that. Know your place, jabron. Anyways, reason 24. He has reintroduced Goldust as a non-jobber. One of the reasons why I like Goldust is because Goldust had a very good career as a jobber and earlier in his career as a mid-carder. It's almost like an R-Truth. R-Truth is fantastic. R-Truth is like in ring, he's one of the best guys that WWE has. But because of the way he's booked, he is lost in the shuffle of being one of the best guys, right? People are like, oh, Kenny Omega had a 7-star match with Trent Seven. No, no one cares about that. Like, if R-Truth wanted to go to New Japan, he could put on 7-star matches like that, motherfuckers. If you think that in the ring, Neville and Austin Aries are better than R-Truth, then you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You haven't seen real R-Truth matches from back in the day, especially when he was in TNA. So that's all I got to say about that, you dolts. Goldust, like, R-Truth is the new Goldust. They were clearly going that way, right? And R-Truth deserves props for that because he has kept himself relevant in a company that doesn't want him to be relevant, right? Goldust instead took the high road, and I get it. He's going to go support his brother. I respect that. You know, I do respect the fact that they support each other, right? But now Goldust has been reintroduced as like a credible wrestler, which makes no sense because 2 weeks ago he was jobbing out to fucking like EC3 or some other jobber, and now he's like a serious player here. I don't like it. Reason 25, the final reason. I mean, I should add another reason here. We'll just call this reason 24B. 24B. The I Need My Brother promo. I was watching this with my girlfriend. She does not watch wrestling at all, but it was like on, and I was like, all right, I'm going to watch this, babe. So let's watch it together. So we watched it together, and then there's the part where Cody Rhodes, I explained to her the storyline a little bit. She thought the match was boring because I'm a casual fan. Someone that doesn't understand this nerd shit is going to be like, this is stupid. It's just two guys hitting each other once in a while. But Dave Meltzer was like, oh, 5-star match. Just the fuck out of here with that nonsense, right? And she said, like, when Cody Rhodes started cutting his promo and he was like, I don't need a friend. She's like, he's going to say, I need my brother. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Right? But even a non-fan could see like how cringy this bullshit is. So that's reason 24B, bonus reason. B for bonus. And finally, the last reason, motherfuckers, reason 25. He continuously talks shit. Not just about Triple H, but about WWE, wrestling culture, Vince. This guy, like, he thinks he's just like finger on the pulse guy being like, oh, I don't need a casual audience. Then your company will 100% fail. WWE is too big to be defeated, period, in my opinion. But if you're going to even have a remote chance of defeating WWE, you need to do so by attracting large amounts of casual viewers, right? This doesn't mean that it's like a random guy who comes home at 5 after his cubicle job. It could be like you could do if you did some sort of crossover, not like a Rick and Morty crossover, but if you did some sort of crossover, let's say with, I don't know, what's some nerd shit? Dungeons and Dragons, right? If you do like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, you might get some Dungeons and Dragons beards, right, to watch AEW because there are other beard friends who watch AEW and be like, oh, they're going to do a Dungeons and Dragons special. So you get those and then you make them stay. You can get a bunch of niche groups. But the fact remains that in order to compete, you have to grow with casual fans. And Cody Rhodes does not want that. He wants wrestling culture to be what it is now. Like this like pseudo-edgy, like, oh, look, it's a guy, it's a female wrestler that used to be a guy. Tee-hee. Get the fuck out of here, man. Treat them with respect. Treat Dusty Rhodes with respect. Treat yourself with respect. I expect better than this from Cody because he does seem like this new Cody since he left WWE seems to be this arrogant guy. But when he was like young with Hardcore Holly, I was like, all right, this kid, like he's playing like maybe it was the gimmick, but he's playing the I'm a humble beginner gimmick. And I'm like, all right, man, like he's athletic enough. He's a good-looking dude, so I don't know why he has to, like, think he's better than he is. Just know your place, man. Know your place. Like, he had a good place. People are like, oh, he was being held back. But and Zack Ryder isn't being held back? Way more over than Cody Rhodes. Like, has this better physique, same attributes, right? More charismatic, and he still gets held down, right? Not everyone's going to be WWE champion, you douchebags, right? Some people are going to be Zack Ryder, right? And Zack Ryder, I hate to say it, because he's been booked probably the worst now than he ever has been. But Zack Ryder, he had his moment at WrestleMania when he won the IC title. And it would be appropriate, because he's been with the company for a fucking eternity. It would be appropriate to one day, maybe in 10 years if he's still around in his like mid to late 40s, right? You give Zack Ryder like a semi-push and you get him to have like a big, big moment. I don't want to say win the title, but give him a moment because he deserves it. Just like Mark Henry got it. That's what I got to say about that. Cody Rhodes isn't satisfied with that. He would rather go to the minor leagues and book himself as champion. You know, big fish in a big pond, or a big fish in a small pond. That's what I got to say about that. Or perhaps a little fish in the big pond. Maybe that's where you should go. That's either here nor there. Not for me to decide. He can do whatever he wants. But just don't book yourself into power and then continuously talk shit about how people like Triple H and Vince are out of touch. Because Triple H has pushed himself a few times. But guess what, motherfuckers? People like Triple H. People don't like Cody Rhodes. And he's out of touch because he pushes himself. So that's what I got to say about that. This has been 25 reasons why Cody Rhodes sucks ass. And with one bonus reason. And the last thing I have to say is go fuck yourself.